The 6th European Rural Parliament is being held here in Inverurie, which is in rural Aberdeenshire. We are delighted to welcome more than 500 delegates from across Europe to this venue here in Inverurie.
When you come here, in a way you fall in love. The Scottish are so happy to show us Scotland, show us beautiful food, show us beautiful places, and all the things they are able to do with their villages together.
I think it's more important now than it's ever been actually to maintain these links with our European neighbours, because when you think about some of the challenges that we face in our rural areas, they're similar with a lot of the countries across Europe too. So I think it just makes good sense to build on those good relationships and to share that experience and to share that knowledge and learning with each other so that we can try and address those challenges together.
Aberdeenshire is the perfect place for an event like this. It has a huge wealth of things to see and do. It has a stunning coastline. It also has a huge amount of castles and heritage and culture for people to visit, and a huge amount of agricultural and agritourism activities that people can take part in. The event is providing Aberdeenshire with a platform to show innovation in rural development and form cross-border alliances, attracting collaboration in research, business and academia.
Rural communities are living and working places. It is not just a place for retiring to. It's a place to come and live and work and visit.
And we want to make sure that any policies that we deliver in rural areas work on the ground and do what they're intended to do. So being able to build that relationship with communities, hear what they're saying, hear what the issues are, and then take action on the back of that is really important. So that's why, from my perspective, being here, speaking to our young people, and actually getting out and about across Scotland as much as I possibly can and hearing from rural communities directly is so important to me, to make sure that we get some of those key decisions right.
I think the younger people are really being heard, especially today with it being the Youth Day. I think the decision makers have been really influential and listened to us, and I think there's going to be a lot of change happening very soon.
I mean, fundamentally, community-led tourism is transforming local communities where the enterprise is actually bringing money, is bringing revenue into the community to allow them to either keep hold of a building that might have been at risk, or by providing a service of raising revenue that allows them to do other wonderful things within the community. Here in Portsoy, there's been a really strong movement, a heritage movement, where there's a Heritage Preservation Trust who've taken over some really significant local buildings. They've done all of the restoration work in the buildings, but then the community have stepped in to operate the buildings. So we've got the sail loft that's operated as a bunkhouse, we've got the salmon bothy behind us here with a museum downstairs and a community hub upstairs, and then we've got the boat shed round at the harbour. A big part of what we do is peer-to-peer learning, because there's so many communities have done wonderful things, and when you hear what other communities have done, it can really inspire a community to start telling their own story. I think there's really key lessons that other European countries can take from what we're doing here in Scotland with our communities, and the European Rural Parliament has been a great way to expose the other countries to this, and especially through these learning exchanges we're doing, where we're here in Portsoy and actually seeing firsthand what communities are doing.
The Community Trust came about back in 2009 when me and 4 of my colleagues set up a company basically to harness the wind energy from a wind turbine so we could fund the local events. It doesn't matter what country you're in, the wind blows everywhere in Europe, so all you need is the goodwill and the grid connection to get things set up. Over the past 14 years we've been running, we put out something like £670,000 worth of grants into the local community. So that's definitely a big way forward. Dundee is a small place, there's only 2,000 people here. If we can do it here, it can be easily done elsewhere. And all it needs is the goodwill of the people and some help from officialdom for planning permissions, for grid connections. But it's a project that can easily be done and managed by the local people.
What we want to see now is action. We want governments to recognise not the challenges of rurality, but the actual assets that rurality actually hold.
you know, the legacy has to be for people to understand that it's a core part of our visitor economy, and without volunteers and without a lot of the work that's done by communities, the Scottish tourism offer wouldn't be as rich as it is today. Last night when we had Marie Goujon interviewing some of the European Rural Youth Parliament delegates, one of them was a lass from Orkney who was just saying, basically, European countries, young people are saying all the same things. It doesn't matter what country you're in. Can you please stop asking us and listen and do something?
I think events like today help young people be connected because it shows that everybody becomes united as one. The decision makers take on board what we're saying, they listen to us, and good actions always come out of these events.
I think there are a lot of lessons here. For instance, what we learned today here in these villages is how community-led tourism is not only a way to bring tourists to your place, but also to make the communities prosper because of that. It's the one thing that I think that's going to be part of our declaration tomorrow as well, that we think that citizen initiatives are key to a lot of the problems we have in Europe. So that means actually citizens together can do so much which you would not get paid for, or which you could not finance if you would do it any other way. And the second thing is the story here is all about Europe. The most thing I hear from a Scottish person is saying, we may not be part of the European Union, but we're still a part of Europe. So we have faced same challenges and we can do it together.